Howdy, my programming friends. It's episode 5, and I'm really mad because I noticed on episode 4 it actually said 3. So I guess I'm not really mad. Maybe I can edit that out, but then I have to edit, which I'm not good at. But in episode 5, we're going to make another component. And basically what that means is we're going to make the answer component. So what's the answer component? Man, usually I have my stuff together more than this. I have to pull up. I gotta pull this up. Try to do it super fast. Skip this thing here. Just this, not just this actually. Let's because when you are ready for this to score your guess, see, when you're ready for this to score, only when you're ready, a button appears, and you click it, ding, and it scored it, and apparently I had nothing right. So, and then, so what did that button do? It also made it so now I could click on this one, and I'm pretty sure my score will be the same. So yeah, I'm getting carried away here. So let's make that happen. I think I got the wrong, is this what I'm working on? Got the answer, the board, this is it. This is it. This is where I'm at. All right, this is my, the server. It's running in the front end, but this is what I'm running it off of. Okay, all right. Got my head in the game now. So let's go to the, what we called the answer component. And what is this going to look like? Well, first of all, let's make this a flex box as well. So we got my cool class of flexor. And we're going to have two things in it. One is going to be the answer container. And let's just go like that. And the other thing is going to be a button. And this is going to have a class, I don't know, button, and it's going to say submit, because that last thing I tried to take that, it looked pretty lame. So submit. I'll just be conservative and just say submit. So we're going to add some stuff here too. Because remember, this isn't going to show, this button we're putting in here isn't going to show until we need it, but we're not going to give it that functionality yet. We're just coding it up, which means we're going to make the CSS for it. So let's make our answer container. Command C. Go into here. Boom, Command V. We'll make this a width of 70%. On a height of 70% as well, and a margin of, see how it puts it, just I put margin and it thinks I say left. 15% top and bottom, and auto there. What did I call the other one called? Just a button. We're going to give that a width of 20%. I don't know if that's the right answer. And a height of, we'll give it the same height. And we're going to give it a background color of silver, because our button's silver, and I'm going to put box me on it. So I have a box around it. I also want a shadow. So box, no, shadow. What's the word for shadow? It's not shadow. It's box shadow, right? Yeah, I just didn't see it. Box shadow, we'll say 2px, 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 black. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like. Oh, this is going to need a color as well. This one I'm going to do something like, what's it called? Gradient. I need to see some syntax for a gradient. W3C, I like to go to them for answers that are easy to see, gradient. So I'm just going to copy an example there. Gradients, and I'm just going to copy and paste it. Linear gradients. Ooh, kind of wish I did that. Here we go. Red, yellow. I might just take that just exactly. Command C. Let's go back. We'll go back here. No, go back there. No. Where's the one I'm actually running? Am I not running it? We'll have to do something about that. And we're going to give this a gradient. Command V, Command S. Okay. Where is... I know. I have to go look for it. Localhost 4200. Bam. Okay. So you see where it says howdy right here? Well, this is in the wrong spot. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. So this whole board needs a background. Right now it's totally transparent. Board CSS. Does it have a background color here? Background color. Can I do the same thing? Linear gradient. But I'm going to do something like RGBA. Those values are red, green, blue, this. So I'm going to say 20, 20, and I'm going to come in heavy on the blue, 200. And I'm going to give it like a opacity of 1. And then I'm going to have Command C, Command V, to opacity of 0.5, and I'm going to come in heavier on the blue. So it's going to be kind of subtle, I think, and that's just the background. So you see it starts lighter blue here, darker blue here. Now let's get these things in place. What's with these enormous font sizes? What's with this not even in there? I'm going to hit Command Option I. I don't want to spend all this time on CSS. Elements, I'm just going to right click it and hit Inspect. And I do that. Okay. I feel like it didn't really inspect it. What am I missing? Oh, I know what I'm missing. Here they are. There it is. I think this just has a lot of margin. I don't. That isn't what I want. So we did margin 15% auto. Is this 15%? This is not working. You know what I am going to do? Say font, no, not on you. The font size on this one. The font size is 1 or 0.6 EM. And I got rid of that. I put margin there. Okay, that's better. So do a little. I'm going to do a margin. I'm going to say 10 pixels and auto. And this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put a box me on both because I don't want to spend any more time. I mean, that color looks horrible. It should be some sort of bluish thing. Ooh, maybe I'll have a great idea. Okay. Okay, fine. Have it your way. I'm going to do it right, or more right. So the answer, the HTML, what do we make it called? Box-me, box-me, and we're going to give the same, let's give it from blue to dark blue. I think there is such a thing. Come on, switch. Okay, and because putting a gradient there, to me, it makes it seem like it's opening up. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. So imagine under there, there's an answer. Okay, and this is a submit button. Right now, there's no click event. It's not hidden, and there aren't any numbers. Obviously, there's not going to be real pegs under there, but there's nothing under. There's no hidden numbers. So let's make some hidden numbers. So where would we do that? Well, the logic, here's the general rule. The logic for this HTML file is done right here. So if there's some logic that needs to create some unknowns, we probably should do it here. And the reason I say probably is because I keep talking about this service we're going to write. This information very likely will be redone in the service. But for now, let's say answer array, which is the array that holds our answer. Okay. On init, I'm going to populate this array with 4 random numbers between 0 and 6, because we can have the colors 0, 1, 2, 3. The numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're probably wondering, well, what colors are going to correspond to what? And that's a good question. And I'm not going to make it arbitrary. Let's look at this TS. What is the index of red? It's 0. The index of blue is 1. So this is going to be color 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, specifically because of the index of these colors are 0 through 5. Okay, let's close that down and go back where we were. We were right in the answer TS file. So how do we make a number? I'm going to say let rand, because that's my random number, equal math.random. And I believe that creates a number between 0 and 1. So if I multiply that number by 6, it's somewhere between 0 and 6. But it will not, since this will never make the number 1, whatever this biggest number it'll never be 6. But it might make the number 0. So if we console log it right now, sort of like this, what numbers? Let's just take a look at what it says it is. How do we do that? We're going to have the console right here, and then boom, 5.79, 0.94. So what I want to do is anything that starts with a 0 is a 0. Anything that starts with a 1 is a 1. So how do we do that? Because obviously I can't round this off, because this would round off to 1. Well, there's 2 functions. There are 2 math functions. So I'm going to wrap this, because it's going to be the parameter of a function, of math.floor. There's a math.floor and a math.ceil, like for ceiling. And math.floor, it doesn't round, it just sort of truncates. It says it takes it to the floor, which in the case of this, do it again. Well, there it's implemented it. So if this was 3.926, it went to 3. Math.ceiling 3.926 or 3.0926 would have gone to 4. So I have created a random number between 0 and 5, including 0 and 5. So that's that. But we need 4 of them. So we're just going to put a little loop here. And I don't need to log this. And let's put a loop. 4. Loop, 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 loop. We'll just erase you and rewrite you right here. Tab, tab. Get rid of this. White space. That is the number. We don't even have to call it rand. There is a number there, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this, Command C, Command V, dot PUS, SH. We are going to push. This is one way to load something onto an array. Answer array dot push. We are pushing onto this answer array this. A couple things here that are alarming is this red line and this red line. Well, this one's easy because we didn't fill in our, that's a 1, our for loop info. So let I equal 0. I is less than 4, but not equal to it, and I plus plus. So it just does this 4 times. This I isn't even used inside of here. Now what's up with this? Funny that I say what's up with this, because the answer is this. You have to say this. This is, because this isn't just answer array, it is answer component dot answer array. And instead of saying answer component, I can say this. So I have to specify this is this. I could say something like this. Let cat equal Oscar. And, well, not minus. And now if I log it, do I have to log this dot Oscar or, this dot cat or just cat? And it's cat. Look, no red line under it. What's the difference? This cat only exists within this for loop, whereas this answer array exists within this class. And this class is a thing that's exported. So if you're talking about a property of the class, you're going to end up putting this there. Okay, so let me get rid of this cat thing. So if this really just made a for loop, then we could log that for loop, and it should give us an array of 4 things. So I'm going to log. I am now logging the results of creating this array with 4 random numbers between 0 and 5. Command S. Save it. It does it automatically. 1100. Let's refresh it, see what it does next. 3530. 0115. So I like, when I play this game, I like to be able to make duplicates, which is conveniently, because this is, it makes it harder when you can have duplicates. There's more combinations of colors you can make. So when it's making duplicate numbers or triplicate numbers, that's fine with me. If I wanted to make it not do that, I could, and it would be more logic, but I'm not going to. So that number, we can imagine that it's having basically a 0 is this, a 0, 1, 1, 5. There would be a red, blue, blue, green under there. We can imagine that's what's under there. But really, there's just this array of numbers. So when we click this, I'm going to say what index was that. Of course, this all has to happen inside of this component. The next thing that to deal with in this video is whether or not to show this. Well, here's how an ngIf works. You put a boolean in there. What's a boolean? Well, I'm going to say show button equals false. And there's something called show button, and it's actually called this.showButton. Now, Command C, here is the secret sauce of Angular. Here is what makes Angular Angular. I'm going to go back to here to my component, and I'm going to put an ngIf, which in Angular 4 or 2 or whatever we're doing. By the way, Angular 4 and Angular 2 are backwards compatible. I don't think I told you that the other day. I talked about Angular 1 and Angular 2 are 2 different ones, but Angular 2 and 4 Angular 4 is just more Angular 2. So, so if I call this Angular 2 or Angular 4, Angular 4 is the thing now. But is this an Angular? There isn't a different ngIf for Angular 2 and Angular 4. It's the same thing. Okay, so what this is saying is, if this is true, show this element that it's in. Well, since this is false, I'm saying when I go back to this, that button's going to be gone. And it is. So we're going to have something make this true, and that something would be when I fill in 4 guesses. When the 4 things are filled in, it's going to say, okay, now show me. So in the next video, we're going to have to start putting these in, or at least one of them in, because it's, remember, this is one component, and inside of this component, we're going to have 9 more components. Ick, but we'll figure it out. Also, before I probably finish that, I keep talking about this service, and I'm going to make it. And I'm not putting it off. I just want you to see I want you to see the usefulness of it. For example, this show buttons are true or false. Well, right now, that's logic that's right here. It's not a lot of logic, but that's being controlled inside of this, which is inconveniently not called a controller in Angular 2 and 4. In Angular 1, this was your controller, and it controlled the HTML. Now it's just the TypeScript file that controls the HTML, but it's not a controller. Anyway, but so if this turning false, when will it turn true? That logic is going to happen in a different component. And the components don't talk to each other very well, except through a service. Not except, there's other ways for components to talk to each other. But my point is, I'm waiting to make the service, I'm waiting till it's very relevant to make the service. Okay, but I think for the most part, I'm done. I'm good. You know what? I always say that. This is going to have a click event. And remember, this is how you make a click event in Angular 2.4. And it's going to say do something. And it's going to name a function that's back here in the TypeScript file. What's it going to do? It's going to say grade guess. Like do the grade. And so this is a function that we have to write. I'm going to write this function. What's that 0 doing there? Might get some syntax. Grade guess equals there. Wanted all the red. Grade get. Notice the word function's gone. And this is not just TypeScript. In JavaScript 2016, it's gone. Grade guess is a function that does this. If there's only one statement in here, I think that means return that. But if there's multiple statements, you have to explicitly say returns. What's it going to do? Well, it's not going to return it. It's going to say, you guessed it, howdy. Actually, how about howdy do? And that's technically a question. Howdy do? Good, how you? Command S, save it. But it's not showing because it's false. Duh. I just copied it, and you'll see why in a second. It's true, okay? After I say this, make yourself disappear. But now I gotta say this dot that. Dot, not that. So it's gonna do things. It's gonna say how do you do, and then it's gonna turn this false, which will make it disappear. Oh, I hit refresh just because I thought I should, but I shouldn't have. And I hit submit. How do you do, and it's gone. Okay, now we're done. I'll see you next time.